calling it time, and that time is talking about evolution. And there is another argument, omega. That one is the source of randomness. So whenever we are talking about uh, a random process, it is always having two arguments, t, another one is omega. So you can say that t is talking about evolution or indexing also. So better word, you can say that it is you can say that evolutionary argument. So it is talking about evolution. Like when population, if you observe population, then always you may observe that population evolves with respect to time. Similarly, we can observe that randomness in the population as well. Due to some other different region, you will observe some randomness, or you can say that omega is just it is accounting randomness or giving source of randomness. It is coming from uh, some kind of random process or some kind of random experiment. So it is randomness simply. So one example we had already taken. So if you are taking a signal, a simple sinusoidal signal, that means a sine x or cosine x, whatever is sinusoidal means you can take it cosine, also you can take it sine. So if you are taking a signal like a cos 2 pi t, then what we observe that here t is talking about evolution and a is amplitude. So here we can put randomness over amplitude. Suppose a is some kind of random variable, and suppose it is coming from uniform random variable or whatever it depends upon. So if you are putting randomness in the amplitude, then what we are getting a family of random variable for various t uniform over the interval -1 to 1. You can say that. Another signal we had already seen that that was actually happens to be like this way. You take a unit amplitude. Amplitude was fixed, but phase was changing. So another signal you can take it like this way: cos or cosine of 2 pi t plus 5. So here this phase was random in nature. So randomness, source of randomness here it was phase, and time again. I would like to say that time is talking about evolution. So it is another kind of signal. So here t is taking value continuously. So a signal can be two type, discrete or continuous. Generally, for simplicity and analysis, we are taking continuous case. So I will talk about in detail everything. So here in last class we had already discussed about joint behavior. So today I will talk about mean. It is lecture number 37. So when we are having a sequence of random variable, but sequence it is more generalized than sequence is that we observe that indexing is happening through t. So in simple, here we know that omega is the source of randomness. So this random process, for simplicity, we can write it like this way: x of t only. Only we will here consider the, you will write only this is evolutionary argument t only, and by default that means we know that the second argument would be source of randomness, that would be there. So like here we can say that generally we observe that it happens to be a function of t, but here a is also having randomness, and so here simply you don't need to go to write it uh, x t comma a, just we will write it x of t only. That would be enough to write. We know that, but additionally we have to mention it here that amplitude is random in nature. That we need to mention. If it nothing is mentioned, then by default we will consider this one is deterministic nature. That means it is constant. So what we observe here, we are observe for each t we are having a random variable. For each t we are having a random variable. So what we'll talk about that, we simply can't talk about a single mean. So when we are going to find mean of a random process, then that would be also function of time. So in place of mean, we will call it mean function, and similarly, in place of correlation, we will call it correlation function, and in place of covariance, we will call it covariance function. Everything, all it would be function of time. Mean would be function of time, correlation would be function of time, covariance would be function of time. So those things we'll talk about for a random. So here first I would like to define mean function, then I will define covariance and correlation function. So actually we had already seen that mean happens to be a first moment and variance related with second moment. According to moment definition, that the moment definition I might have already discussed that when you are defining an integral and you observe like this way, x to the power n into f of x, and in this distribution, probability distribution, in case of probabilistic model, what we observe, x we are calling it random variable, and corresponding f of x we are calling it density. Then when we integrate this over the complete domain of f of x, then what we are, that is for all value of x, then we say that definitely it will take a fixed number, because we are going to integrate from minus infinity to infinity. Then what is the name of this one? So this one is actually nth moment. We are calling it nth moment of the corresponding variable. It is definition of nth moment. Okay, and in the definition of expectation, you might have already seen that expectation is involving x into f of x, integral of f, x into f of x. That's way expectation or mean happens to be first moment. So, and what is happening, this moment would be what here we see that random process is, it is a function of time. So time would be also here, and just we are going to integrate with respect to x, so time will remain here. So that's why mean would be function of every moment would be function of time. So the moments of time sample of, if you're taking any time sample, that means if you're taking any finite number of sample time t1 t2 t3, and you try to sample random process at those time, then that we are calling it time samples. And if you are trying to calculate a moment of those time samples, then that would be what that would be a function of time, and can be expressed through joint CDF. Okay, we can be expressed and can be summarized everything, all these moments through joint CDF. So first we need to define it here, mean function of the random process and the variance function of the random process. Then when we are calling it variance, it is dealing with single random variable. Okay, and when we are here, when we are calling it mean function, it is dealing with single random variable. That is here you have just fixed t, and with respect to t, whatever random variable you will get, you are trying to find mean of that random variable. So it is linked with time. For each t we are getting a mean function, so it happens that mean would be function of time. So how we define mean function as a function? So it mean function for a time t, it would be expectation of this random variable x of t. And just from the definition of expectation, what does it say? Suppose x of t is continuous in nature, so that's why we are going to find expectation of this random variable x of t through integral minus from minus infinity to infinity, or we are integrating this one. Okay, this is the argument x would come. Okay, and similarly, how we will calculate the variance? So variance would be what? Variance would be expectation of a square of mean deviation. This is the square of mean deviation, and calculate the variance. So this is the definition of variance function. So we can observe that we are going to integrate only with respect to x. So t will remain here. So variance would be also function of t for a random process. So here x of t is a random process. Remember that capital X of t is random process. I am not taking notation of omega. Just for simplicity, we are taking x of t notation. That means definitely omega would be source of randomness that would come here. Okay. So here this set. So it traces in behavior of x of t. What we will observe that here jointly we will observe various time samples. So we need to calculate in a single, in the same random process, we need to calculate correlation among the time samples. That means, suppose you are having k number of time sample, t1, k number of time, at k number of time you are trying to sample random process. Suppose these times are t1, t2 up to tk, and at t1 you are having a random variable x of t1 that we denote it by x1, and at t2 we are having another random variable x of t2 that we denote by x2 for simplicity. Likewise, at time t k we denote the corresponding random variable by xk. So jointly we are having k number of random variable. So either you can proceed through random vector of for dimension k, or separately you can say that you are taking k number of random variable jointly. So you are having k number of random variable, and all these are coming from the same random process. That's where auto word is coming. So you have to define what is the correlation and what is the covariance. For if you are taking any random variable, these two random variable, then what would be correlation and what would be covariance. So auto word is coming, just it reflects that you are taking all the random variable from the same random process. So don't confuse with auto. Auto is just a prefix, not more than that. It's just say that you are dealing in a single random variable. You are not taking you are dealing in a single random process. You are not dealing in two different random process. So right now you are just that is the concept of meaning of auto. And when you will deal with two different random process, then in place of auto, cross word would come. Okay. So first we are going to define autocorrelation of a random process x of t. And how we will define it? Will define as a joint moment of, if you are taking any two time instant t1 and t2, at those two time instant we are finding first random variable x of t1, and another at time t2 we are getting random variable x of t2. So that means simply we can say that we are having two at two time we have taken two random variables. So we can easily define correlation between these two random variables, and auto word is coming. Why? Because those both x of t1 and x of t2 both are coming from the same random process x of t. That's where auto word is coming. So how we will define the auto correlation? It is just expectation of the product of the corresponding random variable x of t1 and x of t2. Okay, so it is just one kind of expectation, and it is what dealing with two random variable jointly and in a product form. So what we have to do, that means we have to multiply x into y with corresponding joint probability. This is the joint probability of x of t1 and x of t2, and we have to integrate over the complete interval. And from that, after integrating, what we will observe that the result, this integral, after integrating, it would be just function of t1 and t2. X and y would be exhausted. So that's way autocorrelation term. It is that means simply correlation in the same random process between two random variable at two different instant t1 and t2. So it would be just function of time t1 and t2. Okay, it would be function of time t1 and t2. Similarly, we can define autocovariance. That means covariance between random variable at two different time t1 and t2 from the same random process x of t. How we will define? So we define as expectation of product of mean deviation of x of t1 and mean deviation of x of t2. Okay, so if you simplify it, after simplification, it is just a very simple kind of algebra. Just do play with this calculation. You will come to see that actually this autocovariance also can be written as the difference of autocorrelation and the product of corresponding mean function. This is the mean function. So it is very easy to find autocovariance. If you know autocorrelation and mean, then easily you can calculate autocovariance, and vice versa also, same process you can find. So just you need to find any out of three, mean, autocorrelation, autocovariance, you need to know any two, and third automatically you can calculate. Okay, so the correlation, further we can define the correlation coefficient of the corresponding random process. How? It would be the ratio of covariance, autocovariance divided by this square root of covariance at time t1 into a square root of covariance at time t2. Okay, so this is similar to what we had already seen the correlation coefficient for the case of two random variable. Here, two random variable we are getting through different time instants. So that's why it is. It would be this correlation coefficient again. It will be function of t1 and t2. Those time at which we are calculating random variable from the random process. So all these are the definition of mean function, autocorrelation function, autocovariance function. All are function of time. You might have already seen that. Okay, so what we will see further that the autocorrelation function and autocovariance function, it play very critical role. We will see that in designing linear models, linear model or in order to study many problems related to signal or signal processing problem. We will see that mostly actually it is even there is randomness, that it is very difficult to study linear model itself. But if you are having idea of all these autocorrelation, autocovariance kind of things, so it play very significant role in order to understand signal processing problem in a linear approximation problem case. Okay, so the mean and variance of autocovariance for discrete time can be also defined in the similar fashion. So definition is coming like this way, but only change is that in case of discrete, we are replacing this time through n discrete random variable. In case of continuous, time is taking value from the interval, but in case of discrete, time is taking value from a discrete set. So better notation of discrete set, discrete argument, we give notation n. That means natural number, or sometimes natural number is one of the discrete set of natural number. So you can give in discrete set, you can give notation of n. So it is meant for discrete time random process. So you can further define like this way. So your expectation would be defined in term of what? Summation, and variance would be also defined in term of summation. So likewise, also you can define what autocovariance and autocorrelation. So everything you can define in term of discrete fashion. Time you need to replace it by n, and simply you can say that it is a discrete argument. So discrete, all these are same relation what we had already seen there for continuous case. Okay, so I will go to find mean, covariance function, correlation function for given random process. Till now, anyone is having any question, you can ask. Otherwise, I am going forward. Anyone is having any question? Sarang, do you have any question till now? Okay, so in this example, we will see everything what we discuss about. So we will try to find those mean function and covariance function, correlation function, everything. So we are taking a sinusoidal signal with random amplitude. The amplitude is the source of randomness in the amplitude is the source of randomness in the random process. So we are having a random process like x of t omega equal to a times cos of 2 pi t. Here a is what? A is not a deterministic amplitude. It is actually random. We are selecting a randomly from some interval -1 to 1. So here distribution of a is not given here. So as per problem later you can take distribution, whether the simplest distribution happens to be uniform distribution, you can take a uniform distribution, or you can take Gaussian distribution, depends upon your choice what distribution you want to take over a. Okay, so we are having this random process a time cos 2 pi t, and a is capital. Why? Because a is random variable, so that's why capital in capital it is coming. Okay, now here we have to find first what is the mean of this random process. Simply you can represent this random process by x of t. We know that omega is referred for randomness, so we can just leave that. We just focus on t only. So in order to find mean function, so we have to find expectation of a cos cosine of 2 pi t, and here what we observe that this function cosine of 2t, it is totally totally deterministic term, So definitely there is no randomness. So if no randomness is there in one term, that would behave like a constant. So you can take it out from the expectation. So this term has been taken out from the expectation, and A is random in nature. So that's why we are calculating random expectation of A. So mean function is just expectation of for this random process. It is expectation of A times cos of 2 pi t. Here we may observe that the mean vary with time. So here you can easily see that mean is a function of time here. And this expectation, it would be a fixed number. After calculating, you will get a single number. So here mean would be just function of time. So in particular note, what we observe that the mean would be always zero if provided those t are solution of this equation. That means cos of 2 pi t equal to 0. We know that if you plot cosine function, then cosine function is 0 anywhere. Like it is what is happening that it is 0 at pi by 2. Then at many where you can observe that it is 0 minus pi by 3 pi by 2, and likewise multiple of k times a multiple of pi by 2. So at this point you can observe that at this point cosine is taking 0 value. If you're plotting graph of cos 2 pi t versus t, this one is cos 2 pi. So at various point of time you can observe that cosine is having 0 value. So you can say that mean function is 0 for various time, but it is not always 0 for other time. The mean function is not 0 because why? Cosine term would be not 0. So that's why definitely mean is a function of time. Cos of 2 pi, I should write it here. Cos of 2 pi versus t, this plot is okay. This is the story of mean function. We will calculate now. We are having, this is the given single random process. Now we will calculate autocorrelation. So autocorrelation is what it is talking about, expectation of random variable at two different times. That means value of random process at two different times. One at t1, another one is at t2. So just we are going to calculate what is the expectation of a time cos 2 pi of t1 into a of cos 2 pi of t2. So consider these two separate random variable, and we know that cos of 2 pi t1 and cos of 2 pi t2 both happens to be deterministic in nature. So those will act as constant inside the expectation operator. So you can simply take it out to from the expectation, and inside the expectation we will have only a into a, that is a square. That means we can say that autocorrelation is what? Expectation of a square, again it is a single number into product of these two function. This one is function of t1, this one is function of t2. So further we can say that autocorrelation is function of t1 and t2, those time instant. So function of those time instant. Okay. Similarly, we can calculate auto covariance. So once we have already calculated mean, so we don't, and autocorrelation, we don't need to calculate covariance separately. What we do, we can take difference of autocorrelation and the product of corresponding mean at time t1 and t2. So here autocorrelation is already given here. It is expectation of a square into cos of 2 pi t1 into cos of 2 pi t2 minus here we are finding mean at t1. So mean of t1 would be what? Expectation of a time cos of 2 pi t1, and mean at t2 what would be? It would be expectation of a times cos of 2 pi t2. So these two terms would be common in the both terms. So we are taking it out, and what remaining thing is inside. So remaining inside the bracket, we observe that expectation of a square minus a square of expectation of a. So what does it represent? Actually, it is talking about variance of a. So it is variance of a. So easily we can observe that autocorrelation, autocovariance function is actually equal to variance of a, that the random amplitude times this time function. Okay, again we can observe that autocovariance function happens to be function of t1 and t2. After calculation, you can observe that. I would like to take one more example. Here, what is the source of randomness? Here, phase is the source of randomness. So we observe here, we are in the random process, we observe a random phase. So we are having a random process, again denoted by x of t only for simplicity. So here we can observe that this we are calling it phase, and I have written in capital theta. So why? Because this one is random in nature, and theta, this random phase theta, it is distributed uniformly in the interval from minus pi to pi. That means theta is a random, uniform random variable in the interval minus pi to pi, and we are having a corresponding random process cosine of 2 pi t plus theta. Okay, so again we will find mean function and covariance and correlation function. So it is very easy to find mean function of what? Just find expectation of cosine of 2 pi t plus theta and just integrate. What happens? This one is what kind of function? This one is you are integrating with respect to theta, not with respect to t, because theta is the random variable. That's why we are finding expectation with respect to t. But t would be silent here. That would behave like as a function of mean. So mean would be as a function of time. Okay, so integrate this one, and it is what kind of function? So we are finding this integral in the symmetric domain minus pi to pi. So it is very easy to calculate. You can check it itself. This 1 by 2 pi. What is this? This one is the density of this theta. Theta is distributed between minus pi to pi. So what would be density? Density would by, it would be 1 by 2 pi when theta is taking value between minus pi to pi. And for outside of this interval, the density would be 0. So 1 by 2 pi is coming due to this one. Okay. So I have taken it, it is a constant, so I have taken it out from the integral. We need to integrate with respect to theta only. Okay. So after integrating, what we will observe that actually with this value is 0. That means mean function is always constant for this random process, and that one is 0. Okay. Now we are going to calculate the autocorrelation and autocovariance. So what thing we will observe it here. So here mean is happens to be 0 for every t mean functions. So that's way autocorrelation function and autocovariance function both would be same here. Why? Because product of mean would be 0 for any time. So that's why here equality we observe. So what is the correlation of covariance function? It would be expectation of 2 pi t1 plus theta into cos of 2 pi t2 plus theta. We are calculating at two different time t1 and t2, and just it is very simple kind of integral. And if you integrate this one, just after doing just what we are using here, trigonometrical identity. That means we are expressing this product as a sum of two these two cosine. So it is directly coming from trigonometrical identity. It is very simple kind of identity. And if you integrate, we know that this term would be 0. If you integrate, this will contribute. It is independent of theta, so directly it will come out, and we are integrating with respect to theta. So that's why we observe that 1 by cos, that means covariance, autocovariance or correlation, it will be equal to half into cos of 2 pi t minus t2. So here what we observe that, here we observe that covariance and correlation both are function of what, t1 minus t2. So it will definitely help to understand a stationary nature of a random process. Later I will explain what is a stationary process. So you can observe that here the correlation and covariance both are having actually explicit function of t minus t2. So you can replace t minus t2 by another argument t. Simply you can call it t or some tau or something like. Better call it tau equal to. So it is a function of not only, it is not simply we can't say that it is function, joint function of t1 and t2. Actually it is function of difference of that. So it is behaving like one variable function kind of approach. So it is very specific. So that is the situation. So it is very nice kind of random process. It is having a stationary behavior. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about, so all about the whatever we discussed till now. That one was the story of single random process. Now we will discuss about multiple random process. So we can have uh, two random process or three random process at a time. Like if you are going to study any kind of communication system, so there would be a channel and there would be an input. So input will send something through this channel, and there would be receiver or you can say that output node. So output will receive something. Okay, so suppose input node is sending first a random variable x of t and through this channel, and output node is receiving a signal y of t. And the relation, if someone is willing to see that, then that person can claim that this channel is introducing some kind of noise. So if you introduce some kind of noise, and suppose we observe that that noise is additive in nature, that means this noise happens to be added to input. That means what output we are getting, actually that one is actually sum of input xt plus some kind of noise. Okay, so y of t equal to x of t plus n n of t. So this situation we observe. So what we observe it here? We observe two random process. X of t is one random process. That input kind of thing is one random process. Output kind of thing is another random process, and n of t is another random process. So various random process we can observe in a single system. So we have to study multiple random process in together in order to uh, understand a given system. So whatever system, whether it is a communication system or whether it is any signal processing system or machine learning system, whatever it depends upon our problem scenario, what system it would be. So in a system, we can observe various random process. So we have to study multiple random process in together. What situation we will see it here. So in most situation, we deal with more than one random processes at time. Okay. For example, we can see that might be interested in temperature at two different city. So suppose city A temperature, we model it by first random variable random process x of t, and another city b, name is b, and we model temperature at that city by random process y of t. So here we can have two random process, and we can see the relation between x of t and y of t, how these two temperature as random process are related to each other. Another example, we can see that in a system we can observe that x of t, it might be an input what I discussed, and y of t might be an output. Then we have to see what kind of relation there is between xt and yt. So that relation we need to study. Okay, so that's where two multiple random process are, these are very important to study, and how we can study all these. So any question, anyone is having any question? Anyone? Okay, I'm going forward then. If no, there is no question, I will go forward. So we need to study further joint behavior of these two random process, how jointly these two. So because here xt is input and yt is output, or simply we can say that xt is temperature of one city and yt is temperature of another city. So we have to see what is the joint behavior of these two. So in order to introduce joint behavior, in order to study joint behavior, we have to introduce random vector through time sampling. That means sampling of random process at different time or fixed number of different time. So that time samples are very important for, we have to take possible choices of time sample for these two processes. And even there might be more than two processes. Okay, random process. So for a pair of, suppose we are taking a pair of continuous valued random process, that means for each t, x of t is a continuous random variable, and similarly for each t, y of t is a continuous random variable. Okay, then for continuous valued random process, we must specify all possible jointly density functions of this joint k time sample, k time sample, call it k time sample, because at k number of time we have taken value of random process. So that's where we are getting k number of random variable. Similarly, at for random process j, at j number of time we have taken value of random process, those are y of t1 dash, like y1 t2, y of t2 dash, likewise y of tj dash. So these are j number of random variables for second random process y of t, and these are coming from first random process y of t. So these two are time samples of, this one is time sample of x of t and this one is time sample of y of t. Okay, so at this time, okay, we have taken time sample. So how jointly we can study? So we have to introduce joint density. So joint density, it would be defined by this probability per unit area. That means x of t1 is taking. So if suppose you, for simple case, you take only two time instance t1 and t2, then joint density we can define it this probability that x of t1 is taking value between x and x plus dx, and y of t2 is taking value y and y plus d1, y plus dy. Okay, so through this we can explain that this per unit per unit area, probability per unit area per this elementary area dx into dy. So we can define probability like this way, okay, or density like this way. Density happens to be probability per unit volume or area. If it is a 2D kind of thing, so it would be per unit area. If it is 3D kind of things, it would be per unit volume, and likewise it will go further. So further, what we have to do? So jointly we are studying two different time sample for two different random processes. One is x of t, another one is y of t, and for x of t we denote random that time samples by random vector, this capital bold X, and for a second random process and the corresponding time sample we denote it by bold Y later. So that notation I had already mentioned that bold later always meant for random vector. So it is a it would be J dimension actually. J dimension, and this one would be K dimension. Okay. So what is happening that we will see that these two random vectors are independent. We know that the joint CDF can be written as a product of corresponding CDF of these two random vector. Then we can say that this random vector x and random vector y happens to be independent to each other for any choice. For any choice of these two time instance for x of t and y of t. Okay, so this is the definition of independency between random vectors. Okay, and time sample. Random vector is coming from the time samples. Okay, and now we need to introduce one more term because we are having two different random process. So autocorrelation and autocovariance term will not work for two different random process. We have to here introduce cross correlation and cross covariance of random process x of t and y of t. Definition is similar to that, and we are taking for simplicity we are taking two different time instant t1 and t2, and we are so at t1 we are taking one random variable x of t1 from the random process x of t, and at t2 we are taking another random variable y of t1 from the random process y of t, and we are finding the expectation of product of these two random variables, that we are calling it cross correlation of cross correlation at time t1 and t2. Similarly, we can define cross covariance. It would be the expectation of mean this simply we can say the covariance between x of t1 and y of t2. Y of t2. So if you simplify it again, we can see the relation between the cross correlation and cross covariance. We can write how. So it would be what? It would be difference of a cross correlation at two different time t1 and t2 minus corresponding mean, product of corresponding mean. So similar definition would come, just it is a little bit algebra, you can easily verify that. So just I am leaving this one as a homework, you can define it easily how the this auto cross correlation is related with cross covariance. You can define it easily. So consider this one as a homework, and just further derive, simplify it, and you will see the relation between cross correlation and cross covariance. Okay, so the random process x of t and y of t, further we will say that these are orthogonal random process. If we come to know that the autocorrelation, okay, cross correlation between uh, any two random variable at time t1 and t2 at any time, any two time t1 and t2 happens to be 0 for any t1 and t2, then we can say that these two random process happen to be orthogonal random process. Further, we will see that these two random processes would be uncorrelated if the corresponding cross covariance would be 0 for any time t1 and t2. Then we can say that it is these two processes would be uncorrelated. Okay. So I will take few example. After that, I think we are just converging towards end of time. So I will take one example. So better I will take two examples. So we are taking same example, that sinusoidal wave with random phase. Okay. So we are taking, so don't need to write it here. Just simplicity we are denoting by x of t. X of t equal to, it is a one given random process, that one is equal to cosine of 2 pi t plus theta, where theta is uniformly distributed in the interval minus pi to pi. So we will calculate what is the mean of this one. Mean is coming equal to 0, and autocorrelation, so same question, autocorrelation and autocovariance is coming. So I don't need this question. I will go to another question. I will go for multiple case, multiple random process. So we are taking two random processes. One is x of t, that means it is defined by cosine of 2 pi t plus theta, and there is another random process y of t, it is defined by sine of 2 pi t plus omega. Then can we say anything about these two different random processes? So here theta is what? Theta is again uniformly distributed in the interval minus pi to pi. Then we have to find cross covariance between x of t and y of t. So in order to find cross covariance, first we have to find mean function of these two random processes. So find mean at different time. What time it would be given? So at those time we will find. So we are finding mean function of x at time t1. So just integrate this one. Integral would be what? It will be 0. Integral would be 0. It is very easy to simplify. Similarly, we are going to calculate at time t2 mean function for second random process y of t, and if you simplify it, mean again it would be 0, and we know that 1 by 2 pi is coming. Why? Because theta is uniformly distributed in the interval minus pi to pi. That's why 1 by 2 pi is coming. Okay. So we are having 0 mean function for both the uh, random process. Okay. So it is very, then simply it will say that covariance and correlation would be same because mean is 0. So just we can calculate, it is very simple to calculate correlation function, or simply we can say that we are taking two different random process and at two different time we are calculating value of those random process. Okay. So we are going to calculate, we are having two different random variable. X of t1 it is coming from first random process x of t, and x of t2 it is coming from second random process y of t. So we are going to calculate cross correlation between these two. Okay. So it is what? It is nothing, just expectation of cos of t 2 pi t1 plus theta into sine of 2 pi t2 plus theta. And after integrating, we will after simplifying this one, just we need to integrate it, and we know that what is the distribution of theta? It will be 1 by 2 pi. Same distribution would come, and just after simplifying, what we will see that, say, simplifications say that this cross correlation equal to negative of 1 by 2 pi sine of 2 pi t1 minus t2. So this is the cross correlation or cross covariance. Both are same here. So again we can say that here this cross correlation and cross covariance happens to be function of t1 and t2, but there is a relation that in argument we observe that t1 and t2 are coming in as a difference. So we can say that t1 minus t2 it will be just converted into a single argument, by replace it by tau equal to t1 minus t2. So again it is a stationary in nature, that we will see it later how we define a stationary process. So x of t, so here what from the this correlation function or covariance function, we can say that x of t and y of t are not uncorrelated. Why? Because it is not 0 either, neither here this cross correlation is not zero for every t. So that's why we can say that it is not uncorrelated. It is uncorrelated only in case when this sign of t1 minus t2 is zero. So only for a specific value of t1 and t2 it would be correlated, and along that, so one that line we can say that uh, that concept directly equating it to zero. That means t1 minus t2 equal to k times pi. In case of k times pi, suppose 2 this term, 2 pi into t1 minus t2, it is equal to k times pi for any integer k. Then in that case we can say that covariance would be zero, and hence we can say that these two random process would be uncorrelated only in this case. Otherwise, if this term is not equal to k times pi, we can say that these two random processes would be uncorrelated, not uncorrelated. That means it would be correlated. So